Just. Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
Oh, goddamn hacker, that second damn night that asshole's cut in.
Just.
Fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
All right, boys and girls, I'm flying solo tonight. Hylunder had some tech issues tonight, so I'm going to be bringing the show to you solo. Hopefully I can get through it all by myself right here tonight on The Brothers Hack the Matrix. All right, welcome aboard for The Brothers Hack the Matrix. Or maybe we should call it The Brother Hacks the Matrix. Tonight, it's just going to be me. Danny had some tech problems here right at pre-production time. So it's going to be Hacker Uno, myself, doing it. Sorry for that, guys. I mean, sometimes these things happen, man. What are you going to do? Let's check in with the chat, see who's here. Well, you know who the first guy in is. He's always the first guy in. We gotta watch out for this guy.
There are some who call me Tim.
That's right. Tim is in the house first tonight. He says, hail. He also says, if Diddy goes, put devil horns. He also warned me I had echo. See, this is what happens when I don't have my brother to get my ducks in a row at the beginning of the show. I don't, he's a pretty good pre-production guy. You know, he helps me get the sound right because he is a musician. You know. Let's see. Jimmy Carter, you can't be nice and be president too, sadly. Yeah, no kidding. I really think that he achieved more after he got out of office. And we'll talk about that. But anyway, you guys know how we start the show. Let me take a look here and see where we're at. Look, man, Danny's not even here for me to get derailed. Why are you yelling at me?
Yo.
He says time for Top of the Heap, man. We got to check out what's going on in the big bad world out there. And you know what we always start Top of the Heap with.
Eject! Fire on the flight deck.
This business will get out of control. It'll get out of control and we'll be lucky to live through it.
So much death. What can men do against such reckless hate?
What can men do, as Daniel would say? Well, we've got the first story, like we always have, out of the Ukraine. Ukraine war briefing. Russia vows to retaliate after state media reportedly blocked on Telegram in the EU. Moscow says the move is censorship and that it reserves the right to respond in the same manner. What we know on day 1041. Now, Telegram is that's a social media platform. I think it's kind of like WhatsApp. It's encoded or something like that. Anyway, yeah, they've apparently blocked Russian state media off of there. And yeah, that's censorship. There's no other way to call it. What their reasons are, I don't know. I'm not sure. But Moscow is calling it an act of censorship. The systematic cleansing of all undesirable sources of information from information space continues. Foreign Minister spokesperson Maria Zakharov said, "That's that's pretty interesting. That they're not letting them get their message out in the EU. Very, very interesting." Also, Russia accused of state-sponsored terrorism with huge attack on Ukraine's energy targets on Christmas Day. Russia fired more than 70 missiles at the Ukraine on Christmas Day. Well, it is war. They're going to take every advantage. I mean, we've heard tales of the Tet Offensive during the Vietnam War that happened during that's basically the country's biggest holiday, and they attacked them, during that time period. It's war. These things are going to happen, and it's just a shame. Also from there, we got word that North Korean soldiers killed themselves to avoid capture in Ukraine. The U.S. says North Korean troops are being treated as expendable in order to take on hopeless assaults against Ukraine defenses. National Security Council official John Kirby said. Now, this is from the U.S. side of things, so take it with the I mean, we'd like to hope they're credible, but you got to consider where it's coming from. Russia is deploying human waves of North Korean soldiers, it says. I'd like to see this out of a non-American source for sure, but anyway, it's escalating. I mean, they've got North Korea involved in this on the Russian side now. Of course, we've been working hand in hand with the Ukrainians the whole time, and I do believe that Mr. Biden sent them some more stuff. The Pentagon's, I think they finished the amount of money that they were sending to them, including artillery and things like that, armor, that kind of thing. About $2 billion worth, I heard on the radio today. So, yeah, they're massing on this one little part, and it just keeps getting bigger. It's almost 3 years in now, and it's crazy. It needs to stop. Hopefully, this guy will do something about it. But right now, he seems more concerned with TikTok continuing to go in the U.S. Trump urges Supreme Court to hit pause on the law that could ban TikTok in the U.S. next month. Supreme Court is scheduled to hear arguments in this case on January 10th. The law is currently set to take effect on January 19th, one day before President-elect Donald Trump is sworn in. Now, does that sound like it's a coincidence, boys and girls? He likes to use social media platforms to get his word out, because he doesn't trust the mass media. But TikTok has had a bad reputation for a while. And what they're talking about here is they gave him, I believe it was last year, they've given him a year. And they're supposed to diversify their ownership. And doesn't look like they've done it yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But the fact that Donald Trump is trying to slow down that process, look, guys, you may be happy that Trump got elected and everything, but you still have to hold these people's feet to the fire. Why does he want that to continue? The first thing that pops out to me is money. That platform produces a lot of money. So, he probably doesn't want to mess with that at all. Das Wolfen is here. It's good to see you. Let's see. Human wave attack. That's a desperate act. Yeah, it is. It is. And like I said, I've been preaching de-escalation ever since it started. And I really wish that it hadn't come to that. But, people aren't always going to agree. And there is a part of that the Donbass region there has been in dispute for a long time. And that's what started it all. And it's escalated since then. And you see what's going on. The EU's turning off Russia at every turn. And, they're not making any friends. But they feel like they've been done wrong. It's just a bad scrape, man. We need somebody to talk some sense into those folks. Comic Relief Crusaders here. Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, this is interesting to me. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this and see what they do with this because, everybody was all about this a year ago. Now, all of a sudden, Trump wants to slow this down. That's very interesting to me. And lastly, on top of the heap, well, this is sad news. Now, I have to say, he was probably the worst president that's served in my lifetime. But that being said, this guy had a lot going for him. He was Nobel Prize winning. He was a nuclear guy. He was a nuclear engineer. And Jimmy Carter, former U.S. president and Nobel Peace Prize recipient for his work in the Middle East. He actually brokered a deal between Israel and Palestine. He's dead at 100, and it makes him the longest living president ever. He was 100 years old, and he was the former governor of Georgia, and he's been the only governor from Georgia ever elected president. But I think his legacy really is going to be that Nobel Peace Prize, that right there. Of course, the blemish on him is always going to be the year plus that our embassy employees spent in Iran. That's always going to be, and God love him, he tried to get him out the day before he left, and the operation lost a helicopter on the way, and they turned him around. They aborted the mission. But they came back. They came home the day that Ronald Reagan put his hand on the Bible. Iran said, "Please don't turn us into the biggest piece of glass in the world," because they knew he was going to come kick a little butt, and they gave him back that day. They arranged for their release. I really think you guys should all watch the movie Argo. It's a very interesting movie. Check that out. It actually, President Carter is at the end of it. They did pull off a rather big operation trying to get 7 people. No, it was 6 people that actually escaped that embassy before it was taken. And they were hiding out. The Canadians, our brothers to the north, they helped us out. The ambassador kept them hidden in his home there in Tehran for months while they figured out a way to get him out. And they made a really good movie about it. Ben Affleck got his directorial Academy Award for it and all that good stuff. So you guys should check that out whenever you get a chance. But his legacy really has been his Habitat for Humanity work since he left the White House. I think he's always had public service on his mind, and he fumbled the ball when he was in. We lost the Panama Canal under his watch, and he couldn't get the hostages home, but he did get the guys out of the Canadian embassy. He oversaw that, I believe that my man Tim said it best earlier. Jimmy Carter, you can't be a nice guy and be president too. Sadly, yeah, it's you got to be a little bit tough, and that's kind of hard to do. Nice ass picture. Yeah, I hear you. On that ad. Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, Danny pays attention to that more than I do. If you watch The Longest Yard in 1974, they thank Jimmy Carter in the credits. Really? Wow. Was it filmed in Georgia? Was that a Georgia prison? I wonder. I wonder. Because I'm pretty sure it was a Southern president. He was a horrible president, but an amazing human being. Yes, exactly. I respect the hell out of the man. He was a great example of how a Christian should be. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Let's see. Tim says with help from a few other countries, they helped them to keep them safe until they can be moved to another place. No doubt. Yeah, it was amazing. And look, guys, the world is lesser because Jimmy Carter's not in it anymore. Like I said, I'm not disputing the fact that he was one of the worst presidents ever as far as what he accomplished. But let me tell you, a better human being I don't think has ever walked the planet, really. The guy, you know, he always thought about his fellow man in just about everything he did. So my hat is off to him. Godspeed, my brother, on your way home. And we'll see you down the road. Okay, let's see what's next here. All right, look, boss, I'm by myself. I'm having to do everything tonight. I can't even fill time right now.
Yo.
He says time for the jockstrap. It's time for that other kind of millionaire trying to make noise. You know what I'm saying? It's time to see what they're up to. And don't have much in the jockstrap tonight. Really, if you want to see what's going on in football, my favorite sport, you need to watch the show we do on Sunday. That's NFL pregame party. Come check that out. But I am going to show you the NFL standings as of yesterday. Let's see, where are we at here? No, we need, here it is, standings, playoff picture. Here we go. Okay. A lot of things got cleared up yesterday, boys and girls. A lot of things. All right. A lot of things got cleared up. Let's take a look at it. All right. Right now, as it sits, and this is only because the Lions haven't played tonight, the Vikings are sitting in the first seed. Now, this will change whenever the Lions, if they beat San Francisco tonight, that will change. But if they don't, it will remain that way. But I'll tell you what, the schedulers knew what they were doing on the last week of the season. I did enjoy that. We covered this on the show. They had the schedule, who was playing, but they didn't announce the times. They definitely maximized the potential for some great ending to the season. Comical Relief Crusader says helped build a lot of houses with Habitat for Humanity. Yes, he did. Okay, so we've got the Chiefs and Bills locked in. The Ravens are the 3rd seed right now, and the Texans are the 4th seed. Steelers and Chargers have the same record. They could flop places if in the last week, if the Steelers fall and the Chargers win. Those two could swap. Now, the Broncos are pretty much, they control their own destiny. If they win, they're in. Okay, they're going to get that 7th seed if they win the game against the Chiefs. And I'm pretty sure that Andy Reid says that they're going to sit their starters. I think that was announced the other day. So that's going to be interesting to see if they do start their people or not. I don't, me personally, guys, I don't think if you're in a good place, if you're locked in, maybe you play your starters for a series or two, but treat it like a preseason game, man. These guys have got, if they're the number 1 seed, they've got 3 more games that are going to be against the toughest teams in the league. So you want them healthy and ready to go. These guys have played a 17-game season at this point, 16 up to this point. And if they don't know what they're doing by now, there's something wrong. Das Wolfen says Chiefs, Broncos at 325. They are going to sit the starters, but those backups are good. Oh, man. He's talking like they're going to try and knock out the Broncos. Well, let me put it to you this way, buddy. Do you want the Broncos in or do you want the Bengals in? Because they're still alive. They won their game this weekend, so they're still alive. And if the Dolphins win too, and the Broncos lose, then the Dolphins will be in. So the Bengals need a couple of things to happen. They need the Broncos and the Dolphins to lose and them to win to get in. Let me tell you, guys, I don't think anybody wants that team right there in the AFC playoffs. I don't think they do. They really, it's they're playing off the chain right now. So anyway, I'm pretty sure the Broncos are going to win and get in and get that 7 seed. The only thing's really going to change here, I believe, is if the Steelers struggle in the last game of the season, they may be jumped over by the Chargers. Just seeding changes there, but they do have one slot up for grabs. Also in the NFC, pretty much everything but the seeding is set up. The Rams are pretty much locked in where they're at. The Eagles are pretty much locked in where they're at. They're probably going to rest people. The Rams got in because the Commanders won last night in overtime. The strength of victory was the tiebreaker between them and the Seahawks for the division, and we were eliminated when the Washington Redskins won last night. Now, I haven't looked up what that strength of victory is or how that's calculated. I saw it was by points. I am going to do the research, and this weekend on the regular season finale of NFL pregame party, I'll have all that information for you and let you know why the Seahawks didn't make it to the playoffs. Now, the Seahawks are probably going to start their people and try and win that game against the Rams. If I was the Rams, I would rest everybody because they're not moving from there. The fourth seed, I think, is either going to be the Buccaneers or the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think the Atlanta Falcons have been eliminated, have they? No, they haven't. And this division's still up for grabs, guys. It's still up for grabs. If the Buccaneers lose and the Falcons win, they'll win the division because they swept them during the regular season. But if the Buccaneers win, they're in. They control their own destiny. So they should be the 4 seed going in, and that's not going to change. The Commanders have got the 5th seed locked in, and the only team they could they can't leapfrog the Rams because the Rams are locked in at number 3. They'll have the same record, and Tampa will be the 4th seed. So that is the way it's looking. We've got a few things to figure out. One slot left to figure out. And the big one, though, when they announce the schedule, the last game of the season is going to be 14-2 Minnesota Vikings against the probably going to be 14-2 Detroit Lions. I mean, they're playing the Niners tonight. We all know the Niners are really talented. They can beat anybody on any given day. And they are playing at home tonight. They're out of the playoffs, and I'm sure they're going to, those are grown men there in San Francisco. They're going to try and win that game. But Dan Campbell, that team has been a team of destiny all year. I mean, nobody has lost more players than they have to IR, and they're still doing it with a bunch of backups on defense and their main tools on offense. But they did lose Montgomery. That scares me for them in the postseason. So it's going to be exciting down the stretch here. Now, I got to tell you about this one that I saw. Bears fans at the end of week 17, they end week 17 with "Sell the Team" chant at Soldier Field. I got to share this with you. You guys let me know if you can hear this. But this is what they were chanting during the Seahawks-Bears game, that baseball game we watched on Thursday night. Check this out. They were chanting that in Chicago as they lost to the Seahawks 6-3. It was a horrible game. I was telling my friends on the show this weekend that I really didn't want my team to get in the playoffs because we were going to get thumped whoever we played in the first round. And I'm kind of glad that Washington won last night. ended my worries about that. Yeah, it's a bad state of affairs up there in Chicago. They got Caleb Williams, probably on paper the most talented quarterback in the draft, but man, the mental game is not there for him yet. It's really not, and he shows flashes, but and he's doing well. Actually, he's not the reason they're losing. it's a many things there, but he's got a lot to learn. I don't think he's being coached well, and let's hope that kid gets a little bit better mentorship. But coming out of college, the knock on him is his mental toughness anyway. Let's see. The last one we've got here. Another sad passing to let you guys know about. Greg Gumble, longtime sports broadcaster, dies at 78 years old. Not sure. Let's see. Gumble, longtime sports broadcaster, described as broadcasting royalty, has died following a battle with cancer. His wife and daughter announced in a statement shared on CBS Sports on X. He was 78 years old. This guy called so many great NFL games. Probably the most famous one he ever called was the snow game that started the dynasty in New England against the Raiders. The Tuck Rule game, he was the one that called that game. And he's going to be missed. Now, you may know his brother was more famous in most circles for his hard news stories. And he had a show called Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. That's his brother. And but I always liked Greg because he covered the NFL. It's my favorite sport. I always dug him. So, sad to see him go. Love you, man. Miss you. We're going to miss listening to you call games. There's a lot of good sportscasters out there now, but I always enjoyed Greg Gumble and the way he called games. He did it. He did it in the era of Madden, and he kind of picked up the mantle and went forward. But got to remember, he wasn't a color guy. He was the play-by-play guy. He was Al Michaels is probably the best play-by-play guy right now, but Greg Gumble was really good for a long time. Him. I would say play-by-play guys. I would say for the NFL, I would put him. The guy that went with Madden for so many years, Pat Summerall, and Al Michaels as the Mount Rushmore of play-by-play guys. Sad to see you go, man. Thanks for everything you did for us. Let's see. At this point, this is Tim. At this point, no, they shouldn't sell the team. The Hallis family has owned it for 100 years, basically. Yeah, but what they need to do, buddy, is they need to hire a GM, is what they need to do, and just take their hands away from it. That team is run very poorly and has been for years, and they need to look at what they did, around the 85 Beers time and the Ditka time, because I'm pretty sure they had a GM then. And they need to get back to doing that because they've got their hands in too much with that team right now. All right, let's see what's next here, boys and girls. Calm down, man. I'm trying to keep things organized. Shit.
Yo.
He says it's time for the flicks. It's time to see what's going on with these goofs and everything they're doing. What the hell, man? You know how my brother feels about Luke getting his hand chopped off. He thinks he's the worst Jedi that ever lived, right? I don't know about all that, but, what you going to do? There is not much here for friggin' the flicks this week, though. I can tell you that, man. But then again, it's just because of Christmas, But anyway, let's see what's going on here with the flicks. Shall we, boys and girls? We always start this with the box office results. And this is exactly the way I thought this was going to go. This is Christmas weekend. This is the, now, you know what? The 27th and through the 29th, Nosferatu ended up third. And, I just hated the timing of this movie coming out. I hear great things about it, but I wasn't going to go see it on Christmas. I'm going to try and see it this weekend. But Nosferatu was, third. Sonic the Hedgehog is holding firm at number one, and Mufasa is number 2. I went and saw that Christmas Day because there wasn't anything else I wanted to see, and I knew my wife is a huge Lion King fan, so I took her to see that. It's decent. It's not one of those makes Scar sympathetic things. He shows his true colors in it, and stuff like that. But let's see. Tim says, talking about the Hallises, the daughter of Hallis owns the team, and she turns 102 next Sunday. Oh, man. Ignore that one post? What? Okay. But anyway, Wicked ended up number 4 with almost 20 million, and Moana. Everybody went to the movies this weekend. Now, one thing I would like to check out is Christmas Day. I want to see what Wednesday looked like. Yeah, there was a lot of people went to the theater, and Nosferatu was number 2 on that list on that day, with Sonic being number 3 and Mufasa being number 1. Interesting. Very, very interesting. He says, laugh out loud. But that's very interesting to me, but I knew it wouldn't be number 1 because you're releasing a vampire movie on Christmas Day. That doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the weekend numbers. And like I said, Sonic is firmly back on top with multiple days under its belt. So, and it's also in the total gross domestically, it's leading Mufasa by about 20 million. So let's see. Tim says the daughter of Hallis owns the team. She turns 102 on January 5th. So they need someone younger to run the day-to-day stuff. She can still own it. Wanted to write sometime more. Okay. Damn my fat fingers, he says. And Vince says, Heidi ho to all you nerds and nerdettes. For those of you tuning in, no, my brother didn't run out on me. He has tech problems tonight. His internet connection was not working too well. So he had to sit out tonight. But it was so late and I was preparing the show. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have to fly solo tonight and get you guys a show this week, because I haven't been on Monday in a while. Let's see. Tim says, pressed enter before I was done. I gotcha. All right. So, the only story I have in here tonight, I just thought it was interesting. Turns out Keanu Reeves is no vampire, and his old knees can only handle ballerina, not John Wick 5. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm not back. Apparently, according to this article, he was interviewed and he said, yeah, at some point I've got to stop doing this to myself. His knees are bothering him from all the action stuff. He's not a young man, guys. Look it up. He's getting up there in age. Keanu, we love him to death because he's such a cool dude, but he can only do this for so long. I mean, we need to get him like he is in Ballerina. He's going to be the cameo in that movie. So let's give Keanu a break and give Greg Powell some of these roles and stuff. Let's do some of that. I think that's his name, Powell. I can't remember his first name. I think it's Greg, the guy from Top Gun Maverick and Twisters. And anyway, there's plenty of guys out there who can do this action stuff. All right, let's see what's next here. All right, look. Sly, would you back off? He says, you're not done with the damn flicks until you're done with the Diddy files, man. What the hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, man? We got to do the Diddy files. What the hell? Diddy's got to make it rain, doesn't he? Shit. Ex-Diddy employee claims that he set up rooms for freak-off parties and cleaned up evidence. Well, this is just more of the same, guys. Former employee Philip Pines claims that he set up rooms for the rappers' freak-off parties and cleaned up evidence when they were finished. He also claims that he was also trafficked and assaulted by Sean Combs and others. I mean, Pines claims in a 32-page lawsuit filed on Monday, December 23rd, that he worked for Diddy from 2019 to 2021. Well, where was your whistleblowing ass then? And why'd you work for him for 2 years? I have nothing for these guys. I really don't. This is. Danny talked about it before last week. It's an old underculture. We all know it's out there. These people in power and with money, they've got some very degenerate ways. Some of them do, and they think they can just get away with whatever they want. Also, this week he's trying to cover for J-Lo. Diddy wants sanctions after Jennifer Lopez dragged into lawsuits. Let's see. Derek Lee Caldero is suing Sean Diddy Combs. However, the civil lawsuit differs significantly from dozens of others filed against him. Caldero Smith has tried to sue Combs multiple times and is also trying to drag Jennifer Lopez into the case. Now, if you remember on this show not too long ago, when J-Lo and her then husband, Ben Affleck, split, my brother said, and this was before they arrested the man, he said then that has to do with Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs. My brother has had his finger on the pulse of this since it started, man. This does not surprise me one bit. Doesn't surprise me a bit. He's gonna try and protect the people that protected him, right? And my brother said that this is why Ben Affleck walked away from that marriage, because he knew this stuff was coming and had knowledge of it. So that's not surprising at all. All right, so what do we got next up? I don't know. We'll have to look and see. And Sly, just back off, man. Let me run the show, will you? He won't let me run the show. He continues to yell at me.
Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo.
It's time for the earthquakes, he says. I forgot I had that on a loop. Time for the earthquakes. Let's check out what's going on. These things that shake, rattle, and roll the entire country, state, globe, whatever. These things send shockwaves everywhere. And we're going to start with, let's see, what are we starting with, man? Looks like we're starting with the Starbucks strike. Starbucks shuts down hundreds of locations. A walkout by baristas at Starbucks expanded on Tuesday as more workers joined at 5-day labor action against the coffee giant in protest that comes to a close later in the day. The Seattle-based company and Starbucks Workers United, the union representing workers at 525 stores across the country, offered conflicting tallies of number of locations impacted. I don't think they were impacted here. I would have heard about that. They'd have been up in arms about that here, I'm sure, especially if people didn't get coffee first thing in the morning. But did it impact your locations where you were at? But yeah, I mean, if they feel like they're underpaid and not represented well, then they should strike. That's within their rights, no doubt. Next up, let's see. Walmart illegally opened bank accounts for 1 million drivers, lawsuit alleges. Now, what this has to do with is, I believe, delivery accounts or something like that. Let's see. PB, and that's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Let's see. They're being sued by them for allegedly forcing more than 1 million delivery workers to use expense deposit accounts to access their paychecks. Wow. Let's see. Walmart made false promises, illegally opened accounts, and took advantage of more than 1 million delivery drivers, the Bureau said. Director Rohit Chopra said in a release, companies cannot force workers into getting paid through accounts that drain their earnings with junk fees. Oh boy. That doesn't sound good for Walmart. But, you know, the Walmart family's got more money than half the planet, so they'll probably settle this. But 1 million drivers, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. We're talking maybe $1 billion. That's crazy. My trucker friends, let me know what you think of that one. Vince says, why would they go to Starbucks if one want coffee first thing in the morning? Hey, man, some people, you know, the banker's hours guys is the ones that do that. I get my coffee at Burger King when I pick up a croissant on the way to work. That's what I do, you know, but that's just me. You know what I mean? But anyway, that one right there, we're going to have to keep our eye on right there. It's going to be interesting. Next up. Now, this one's public service announcement, okay? Voluntary pet food recall issued after Oregon house cat dies from eating product that tested positive for bird flu. And this one, you see the brand there. It's Protein Boost Northwest Naturals turkey recipe. Okay. Portland Bay. Let's see. Northwest Naturals, owned by Marask Meats, announced the recall Tuesday for one batch of its 2-pound feline turkey recipe, raw frozen pet food, after the product tested positive for the highly pathogenic avian influenza HPAI virus, also known as HSN1 bird flu, according to a news release. So if you've got that stuff and you're feeding your cat with it, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get something else. It's dangerous for your animal. This I can't believe this. This is just bizarre shit right here. Hang on one second. Let's see. I get my coffee from the kitchen. I do too. I make it at home if I'm home, but I mean, if I'm on the go, I don't go out of my way to get to Starbucks. You're right about that. Isn't Hillary Clinton on the board of Walmart? I don't know. Not sure. This one breaks my heart, man. Some people just shouldn't be in public. Pizza delivery woman enraged by $2 tip stabs pregnant customer 14 times and did it in front of her kid. That's just, I mean, it's just horrible. Let me see if the woman lived through it. More than a dozen times, according to police, got ticked off Sunday after dropping a pie at the Rivera Motel in Kissimmee when the customer gave her a stingy tip, so she returned with a pal. Yeah, I do remember she had a person with her, and stabbed the woman. Let's see. The victim was stabbed multiple times, and items were taken within a room. The victim was with her boyfriend and her 5-year-old daughter at the motel celebrating a birthday at the time. Let's see. Security camera footage caught Alvaredo's red Toyota pulling into the parking lot for the delivery around 10 p.m. Sunday and returning about 90 minutes later with her masked companion. Wow. That's just, these stories right here just break my heart. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, did you hear about bird news? I don't know what bird news you're talking about. Don't know. You guys in America have a weird obsession with tips. I wouldn't say that. I would say that that person right there is crazy. That's what I would say. Let's see. 4 in New Hampshire found dead in Christmas after an apparent carbon monoxide poisoning. The 4 adults were found in a home in Wakefield on Wednesday afternoon, officials said. And let's see, the New Hampshire State Fire Marshal Office said the dead were identified and they were from Newton. Efforts to determine the cause of the suspected carbon monoxide leak remain active and ongoing. Investigators are continuing to inspect the home's gas and heating system. So it sounds like this was an accident. State Medical Examiner's Office has determined that Matthew Goldstein died of carbon monoxide poisoning, and the causes of death of the other 3 are pending, the fire marshal said. Wow. More than 400 people die every year in the United States from carbon monoxide poisoning, not linked to fires. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention says on its website. Yeah, it's it has to do with heating systems, man. If you don't have the correct ventilation, it can be very dangerous. Let's see. I guess Wade is agreeing with you or answering me. I would. I don't know what he's talking about there. But anyway, next up, backpacks containing $1.1 million of cocaine discovered in the wilderness near Canadian border. Wow. Look at this, will you? 2 backpacks weigh 78 pounds and contain 30 packages of cocaine. The incident occurred when agents on patrol in the Blaine sector of Washington, approximately 110 miles north of Seattle, discovered 2 black backpacks weighing 78 pounds lying on the ground in a wooded area near the border of in Linden, according to a statement from U.S. Customs and Border Protection released on Monday. Wow, that is crazy. That is absolutely nuts. Just out there in the middle of the woods. Yikes, that's crazy. My man says, that's mine. He said, that's mine. I came across the border with it. Where's my shit? Let's see. Vince says, I mean, servers expect 15% tips. Look, man, I worked for tips for 18 years and I never bitched about getting tipped or not. I never did. But then again, I didn't serve food. I served drinks. So, most people that are cocktailing, they're not really paying attention to it anyway. You know what I mean? They'll leave change, whatever, and I always found that you made the most in tips just by hustling. And remember what, when somebody tips you, just remember what they like. And I always used to tell people, hey, I remember your name, or excuse me, I remember what you drank before I remember your name. I'd run into people at the mall and say, hey, Crown and Coke, what's going on? That kind of thing. Let's see. Vince says, even if it's Starbucks, where they don't have to bring you the order. Yeah, I don't tip people at Starbucks. I don't do that. And they don't get mad about it. Oh, man, listen to him. Happy New Year, Santa Joe. Well, you know what? I don't know if you can hear it, but there's already fireworks going off in my neighborhood, man. My dogs are going to be scared to death by the time New Year's Eve gets here tomorrow night. Let's see. I'll split it with you. Don't tell. I hear you. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. All right. Let's see what's next here. Oh, this is a fun one. This is from your side of the pond, Vince. Check this out, man. This one was saucy too. Woo. Female prison guard admits to having sex with inmate in recorded cell romp, faces possible life sentence. I don't think they're going to give her a life sentence, but this British female officer named Linda de... Her name even looks like it says saucy. It's Linda de Sousa Abreu. I don't know. She's 30 years old, was working in London's Wandsworth prison when she was caught having sex with a prisoner on June 27th, which was recorded by another inmate and went viral on social media, says the BBC. let's see. Prosecutors said Abreu, I don't know how to pronounce it, who runs an OnlyFans account. Well, of course she's got no F, right? Knowingly took part in the racy video with Linton Warwick, a felon booked for an 82,000 luxury goods heist in Kensington. That's her right there with her bow, and that's an actual still shot from the video. And yeah, she faces up to, and the charge is she pleaded guilty to is one count of misconduct in public office, which apparently carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. Now, do I think she deserves life in prison for this? No, I don't. But she definitely deserves some time for it. This is, if you're working in a prison, you're not supposed to be doing stuff like this, man. It's just as bad when a chick does it as when a guy does it. Okay, you shouldn't be doing this. You can't be giving out perks. They're in prison. Come on, man. Let's see. Awesome one says, "Wow." Let's see. Das Wolfen says, "Okay, I have D&D, so I have a good night. Will do, John. Good to see you." British, yes, sir, yes. And he's like, "Woohoo!" The new OnlyFans channel. That's it. Exactly. Awesome one says, when all the leadership is gay, no wonder they're looking to criminals for men, right? Oh my God. It's Christmas. She was giving. Mike, you're wrong for that, man. You're wrong for that. Okay, let's see what's next here. Oh yeah, this I had to tell you about. Now, we're still on the bad cops subject, and I'm sure you guys have seen this. Shocking body cam footage captures prison staff beating inmate shortly before his death. Now, I saw some of this video earlier on the news this week. To give you some details, in the video shown by New York Attorney General. Now, this happened in the New York corrections. Let's see. Yeah, it happened in New York prison. It's the Marcy Correctional Facility in Oneida County. On December 9th, this happened. Brooks, let's see. Brooks, where's his full name at? I'm missing it. Anyway, the gentleman's last name was Brooks. He was 43. He'd been serving a 12-year prison sentence for first-degree assault from 2017, according to corrections. The footage was released during a virtual news conference hosted by James, which is her, and that's just a still shot. But they beat this guy up, and they need to face the consequences. No doubt about it. The guy's cuffed the entire time during the beating. And if you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. Look, I was a cop when I was a kid. I know people can piss you off, but you've got to show some restraint, man. You're dealing with people at their worst, and you got to remember that. And yeah, guys like this, they don't need to be involved in law enforcement or corrections. They don't need to be involved in it at all. So we'll have to follow this one and see what they get for their troubles. But yeah, let's see. Let's keep going here. Let me find my place. Talking about the corrections officer in England, jolly old England. She is the living embodiment of ho, ho, ho. Yes. Fired and a couple of years at most. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't give her a slap on the wrist. She needs some punishment, but I don't even know if jail time is needed here. I would say that a rather hefty fine, losing your job, and some public service would be good. Well, I don't know. Does she need to do public service? Looks like she already served the public. Let's see. We have this footage, but no Epstein footage. Yeah, exactly. They can get that, but they can't get the Epstein footage. So would you rather have been beaten or... Like I said, I don't think she needs to have the book thrown at her. These guys do. That's just wrong. Okay. That's just wrong. Robert Brooks. There it is. Yeah. Our local cops have an audit and they found gang members were hired. So it can happen anywhere. Yes, it can. I've said this several times. Like I said, I did this when I was young. I was in the military, and it's totally different from civilian cops. Let me tell you, it's a lot tamer where I served at, because nobody wants to get in trouble with the law because it affects their pay, it affects their careers, which it should in the civilian world. But I mean, some people just run in them circles for the rest of their lives, But when you're in the military, you're supposed to keep your nose clean and everything, and so they tend to police their own quite a bit. But I knew bad cops then, and I called him out on it. I wasn't afraid of it, but it's bad. No cam for a month. No cam for a month, Mike. For the one in England, yeah, I hear you, man. Jeez. But yeah, these guys in New York, they need. I hope this DA, this girl here, we all know her face, right? I hope she goes after them as hard as she did Trump. Okay. Also, check it out. We got another Tyson food factory explodes, killing one. We've got another one of these. A reported explosion at the Georgia Tyson Foods factory on Tuesday, on Christmas Eve, killed one person and injured several others. Why was it open on Christmas Eve, man? Most of these places shut down. Well, then again, you know what? When you're dealing with chickens, I guess somebody's got to be there, to take care of them and stuff. According to Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, a boiler inside the factory exploded. This caused a fire that lasted for 3 hours. Now, this has been happening with regular occurrence here over the last few years. I know that comics divisions reported on this a couple of times in the last couple of years. It's we got to watch that, man. We don't need to, have any food shortages. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. What the man? He says, man, they want us eating the bugs. We will eat the bugs and we'll be happy. No, we won't. We're not going to eat the bugs. We're not going to be happy about it. And look at this. His buddy Trump's fixing to get back in office. So guess who's popping off at the mouth? Kim Jong-un, our North Korean friend, orders divorcing couples to labor camps under tough new rules. He reportedly ordered the divorcing couples be sent to labor camps for up to 6 months, with women potentially facing longer sentences. The North Korean leader has declared that ending a marriage demonstrates anti-socialist sympathies and warrants punishment. Now, if that's not social engineering, I don't know what it is, folks. I don't know what is. That's, wow. This guy is unhinged. He really is. That guy's crazy. He is crazy. It's just, oh God. That country right there. Oof. If it ever gets out of the dark ages, it will be a great day for humanity. It really will. Flat E says, and good to see you, Flat E, whoever you are. I don't think I've seen you before. Do not know, but relate it to bird flu or viruses to come. This has been happening. This has been happening in particularly in the poultry industry for a couple of years now. They've had several fires at these plants. I don't know why it is. I don't know if they're targeted. Just about everyone's called an accident. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's bad management or if it's actually a coordinated attack on him. I don't know. Wasn't it Tyson who fired all the senior staff to hire illegals? Maybe. Not sure. Not sure. I'd have to do some research to see. No problem. Only 6 months. Yeah, right? Oh, God. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, this is I try to cover Second Amendment stories, and this one's horrible. Kentucky police fatally shoot man after allegedly serving warrant at wrong home. Neighbors said that this man's name was Doug Harless, 61. He was shot and killed on December 23rd when London police, this is in Kentucky, showed up at his door at 511 Van Zant Road in Laurel County, according to the Kentucky State Police. You can read this article online, but basically his neighbors were shocked, couldn't believe it. And one of them, let's see, let me see. One of them had ring footage of it, said, well, it shows on the camera that there were police officers on his porch, and they announced that they were there. They banged and banged and banged until they finally made their way through the man's door, and with not even making it completely through the door, they shot him. I mean, it was just that quick. That's what a neighbor from across the street said. Apparently, the police say that he raised his gun at him, and they fired on him. They initially made no mention of whether Harless was armed, but and then on Thursday, 3 days after the shooting, police said the man produced a firearm and pointed it at officers. So that's 3 days later. Now they're not gonna comment on this stuff right away, but there needs to be an investigation into that shooting. And where they get their information, all that good stuff. We got to get to the bottom of that one, because we don't need citizens that don't know what's happening. Law-abiding citizens getting shot to death in their own home. That we definitely don't need that happen. That's how the police say Merry Christmas. Oh my God. Aren't you glad they're unarmed in the UK, Vince? Oh my God. Let's see. Flatty says, "Sure, hollow, we say." Let's see. Even if he was armed, they were intruders into his home. Yes, absolutely. Feliz Navidad, Flatty says. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They were definitely the intruders. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Okay, let's see. And look, under earthquakes this week. Don't care. Not in the UK. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Well, I mean, your cops don't even have guns except for the special tactics guys, right? I'm pretty sure none of your cops have guns over there in the UK. Oh, you're not in the UK. That's right. I know you're on that side of the world. Okay, let's see. What's up, Wolverine? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. And once again, if you're joining late, no, my brother did not run out on me. He's having tech problems tonight, and it was so late, and I'd already prepared the show, so I decided to go ahead and do it by myself. I'm sorry he's not here to, make fun of me and all that good stuff. But my brother and I have a ball doing this show, and I really hope you enjoy both of us doing it. Look, guys, I had to do Inside Earthquakes. I had to have a little subgenre tonight, and you've seen it before. Planes, trains, and automobiles had to show up again tonight, because wow, did we get a lot of stuff in planes, trains, and automobiles this week. I mean, dude, air travel. I mean, they said, Christopher Reeve said in Superman, it's the safest way to travel statistically, but man, whenever it goes wrong, it goes way wrong. Oh man, we've got a bunch of these stories in this one. First one up tonight, unticketed passenger caught on Delta Airlines flight on Christmas Eve. Second stowaway found on board a Delta flight. Recent stowaway was apprehended after boarding a flight from Seattle to Honolulu on December 24th on Christmas Eve. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Stowaways. Can't even afford a plane ticket, so they're just going to stow away now. Wow. That's crazy. Let's see. Flat E says, you should see Mexican cops after only 2 weeks. Doctrination? You mean they're training? They only get trained for 2 weeks? Really? Is that what you're talking about? Wow. Woof. Yikes. But anyway, what else we got? Well, body found in wheel well of United plane after landing in Hawaii. What is going on with the Hawaii flights, man? A body was found in the landing gear compartment, also known as the wheel well, of a United Airlines plane after it landed in Hawaii on Christmas Eve. The company said, wow. Departed from Chicago. Somebody was in the wheel well up at those huge, heights where you can't breathe. United Airlines said it remained unclear how or when the person got into the landing gear, which it said was only accessible from the outside of the Boeing 787-10 aircraft. Wow. How bad would you want to get on a plane to hide yourself in the landing gear? Or was it an employee that got scooped up in there? I mean, look, that's hard to explain. That had to be somebody trying to stow away too. That's really weird. Really weird. Seen too many movies. Deadly airliner crash likely caused by Russian missile attack per reports. Now, I'm sure you guys saw about this Kazakhstan plane crash, and we've seen all the pictures of the holes on the outside of it and everything. Russia should have closed the airspace over Grozny, but failed to do so. The plane was damaged by Russians and was sent to Kazakhstan instead of being urgently landed in Grozny to save lives. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy right there. They've got to come up with a better way to friggin' identify their targets. It's just nuts. And Jason is here. What's going on, man? Good to see you. That's another one from across the pond. He's over there in the Netherlands. Yeah. Let's see. No, he's in Norway. He's not in the Netherlands. Let me get that right. He's in Norway. Vince says, at this time of the year, a holiday in Hawaii just does sound nice. Yeah, it does. Okay. And I got, let's see. On that same subject, an oxygen tank on the Azerbaijan Airlines flight exploded before the crash. Minister said, yeah, a direct missile hits what they're actually thinking it is. Also in South Korea, fiery plane crash kills 179 in worst airline disaster in South Korea. This one, man, dude. It was Jew Air flight was carrying 181 people from Bangkok. Two crew members rescued from the Boeing 737-800, deadliest South Korean airline crash since 1997. Wow, that is insane. We got a better picture of it here. That's bad, man. I had to do just a planes, trains, and automobiles segment on this because, man, wow. Especially the one in Kazakhstan, man. When I was going through basic training back in 1983, I know I'm old, guys. When I was in the military police corps in basic training, it was a Korean jet airliner that Russians had shot down, and we heard about that every morning. Now, it's kind of conditioning. What they do is they play. At that time, we weren't friends with the Russians, and they were playing nothing but anti-Russian news. Piping it into the bay. I was in a 60-man bay, 60 guys, an entire company of guys all in the same bay. And we heard about that every day. Every day. The two big things that happened when I was in basic training was the Korean airliner that got shot down, and the invasion of the one that the Clint Eastwood movie's based on, the Marines going to get the college kids. What the hell? I'm having a senior moment. I know this. Oh, come on, guys. You in the chat. Yeah, Grenada. There it is. Thank you, Wolverine. Grenada. I knew Wolverine would know. I knew he would know. Yeah. Let's catch up with the chat here. He says, another crash in South Korea. Yeah. Boeing is outscoring coding for their product for $9 an hour to overseas that violates a bunch of laws. Really? Wow. Yeah. Look, these companies, you know, we saw the HB1 stuff going on this week, and these companies will do anything to cut corners. They'll do anything to make more money for the top end. Flat E says the last one fell before Jimmy Carter died in planes. Yeah. Let's see. Wolverine says they do that with most of their DOD contracts. Yeah. It's the lowest bidder, right? Yeah. Let's see. And he said, yes, it's Norway. 101 Squid Game score tied. Are you guys watching that? I watched it. I watched Squid Game for the first time over the holidays here because I knew the second one was coming out. And I knew you guys would want to get our thoughts on it on State of the Atmosphere, the pop culture show. And let me tell you, I'm not surprised by that show because that's probably pretty realistic. I do know a bunch of gamblers, and they act that way. They would probably do that if they were in action, no doubt. Hail to Tabasco, Mexico. Go, man. Good to see we have an international crowd today, Norway and Mexico. Good deal. But Grenada is the operation that happened when I was in basic training. It was late in 83. Let's see. When I think Eastwood and Planes, I think Firefox. No doubt. Good movie. Good movie. I watched it. I liked it. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's all rituals and numbers. 181, 182, 181. Yeah. Good gosh, you guys. Oh, man. What am I going to do with you? Okay. And we've got an article here. And you know what? I mean, this is just proof that those of you that think that we're conspiracy theorists for some of the things that we're speculating on, and we say we're speculating on it, you know, most of us, when you call us conspiracy theorists, we're simply looking at the smoke and trying to find out where the fire's coming from. Okay? That's what we're doing. We're playing firefighter. All right? Yeah, we've got one article. It's time for best and brightest. Yeah. Guess what? Newly released photos show Hunter Biden and Joe Biden with Chinese officials in 2013. Now, this is after the president has had long insisted that he never had any involvement in Hunter's business dealings. But these photos have been released. You can look at them on X. There you go, right there. Then Vice President Biden went on an official trip across Asia, including a stop in Beijing, China. In these newly released photographs, Joe Biden appears to introduce his son Hunter to President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China. Pretty interesting. Yeah. We're all full of it, right? Yeah. We don't know what we're talking about. We have no clue what we're talking about, do we? Oh, boy. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Canada barely even counts. Oh, what are you guys talking about? And Canada. What is this? What am I missing here? Okay. Yeah, Canada. Yeah, we've got Canada. We've got Norway. We've got Mexico. And we've got the United States. Okay. Me and Me and Wolverine are in the United States. Let's see. Canada barely counts. You're basically the 51st state. No, they are not. Stop it. I'm so tired of hearing that, man. They are a country unto themselves. 5 planes in 5 days. It is a sign. Is it part of that movie Signs? Is that what it is? No, not Signs. What's that movie called with Nicolas Cage? Knowing, right? Isn't that it? It's a pattern. And he knows. He knows. Vince Womack says, I accept that. Let's see. Flat E says bird flu has been around the news. Cars numbers in New York City are related to virus like 9502. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I tell you what, though, they're not going to be able to do the lockdown thing like they want to again. I just find it very interesting. My brother loves him some Hunter Biden. That's his boy. He wants to go party with Hunter. That's for sure. Okay, boys and girls, guess what? It is that time. I hear my man in my ear. He's getting in my ear. He's telling me to protect myself.
Yo.
He said it's time to get out your cup, get the pads on, get that mouthpiece in, buckle your chin strap, because it's time to turn out the lights.
I have the utmost respect for Kurt Warner for going in there. I have the utmost respect for Kurt Warner for going in there.
Vince says, it's a sign, all right. We're going out of business. Ghostbusters. That's classic, man. That's good stuff. Let's see. What else we got here? 2013, outside the pardon time frame. Yeah, right. Exactly. Canada is already 51. No, they're not. Look, the homeless on fire car number. Okay. I don't know what that is. Yes, we are. He's telling me, will horror sells out to join the US of A? Well, I'm not saying you're enjoying Trudeau or anything. It's just, you guys got a great country, man. You really do. I can't remember which comedian. I think it was Robin Williams back in the day that said Canada was just a loft apartment above a really great party. What he called it, But look, man, like I said earlier, Argo, you guys need to watch that movie and see how the Canadians helped us out in that thing. That was pretty cool. That was cool stuff. I love it when, countries work together to get shit done. I think it's pretty cool. My final word tonight is about the Independence Bowl. College football bowl game draws embarrassing crowd on Saturday night. I just wanted to point out that this embarrassing crowd they're talking about is a 50,000 seat stadium that's got 35,000 people in it. So, you can think what you want, but the major sections of this are all filled, and that we sold 35,000 tickets. Now, it rained that night. I don't know if every ticket holder came to the game, but Army played the LA Tech Bulldogs and pretty much destroyed them. So that's a misleading headline. That's about what that bowl game draws every year. Okay. I've always thought that they should have, it's the Independence Stadium. It's been there since 1927, I think, and it's been refurbished a couple of times. But, I've always thought that, maybe you've heard in college football, they have the Red River Shootout between Texas and Oklahoma, and it takes place in Dallas, Texas at the Cotton Bowl, which is exactly halfway between Norman, Oklahoma and Austin, Texas. Well, I've always thought that they should expand that stadium and make it to 100,000, right? Build it up, and then get LSU and Arkansas to play the Golden Boot game here, because it's about halfway between Little Rock and Baton Rouge. So I like our local stadium. I didn't like that headline. We always pull about 35,000 for that game, but it's really good for the economy here. And Army, that's the third time they've been here in the last 4 years. They had a contract with us to show up every year. They didn't show up last year. I can't remember what exactly happened, but the Independence Bowl went off and Army crushed LA Tech. Let's see. It's true. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Dude, I was just watching Argo today. Yeah, Argo's a great movie. For a PG-13 movie, it is white knuckle suspense, man. It is really good. It is amazing those guys got out of there. It really is. If that's anywhere near the truth of the matter. And that over Christmas, yeah. Mm-hmm. And in the rain. Yeah, it would. That's what I'm saying. They sold 35,000 tickets, but I don't think everybody showed up to that stadium. And even though he's not here, I'm going to let you guys know who Danny picked for that award that he gives out every week. He did pick it before we were going to come. I'm telling you, I found out like a half an hour beforehand he wasn't going to be able to be here. So that's why I decided to go ahead and do the show. I'd already prepped it and everything. But guess what, guys? If I can find the damn video, it's time for the award that Danny likes to give out every week. It's called the Simple Jack Award. It's that award he gives out to those people that are trying to do the right thing. They just can't quite seem to get it right, man. It could be a government, could be a city, it could be an organization, it could be a company, it could be everything right down to an individual. And this time around, it is an individual. Danny's calling this one the Degenerate Gambler Edition. This guy, oh my God, the way some people get rich. Anybody that knows me knows that compulsive gambling has not been good in my family, and I'm totally against it. But then again, I've never been a gambler. I really haven't. So, but this one has to do with a certain individual that owns a. Oh my God. Hang on. Let me pull it up here, guys. I may have to shrink this down a little bit so you can see him. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I was having some page struggles. This one is about Dave Portnoy. He's demanding an FBI investigation after agonizingly missing out on $370,000 windfall. Now, how is he going to get this windfall? Well, he decided to do what they call a parlay, where you set like 2 or 3 bets, right? Well, the 3 bets he set were here. Portnoy has demanded FBI investigation into Washington Commanders and their running back Brian Robinson Jr. after agonizingly missing out on a massive $370,000 payday on Sunday. Let's see. Known for his high-stakes gambling, Portnoy predicted that Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts to score 2 touchdowns or more, 2 or more touchdowns, which he did in the game that he played. Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Kenny Pickett would score, and Robinson Jr. to score. Now, Robinson Jr. is the running back for the Washington Commanders. And when the backup running back scored a touchdown instead of Robinson, you see the pictures here, and the video. The sound is a little bit screwed up on it, or I'd play it for you, but it does have it here. He says, this is what he says. He said Rodriguez has has 5 fucking carries the whole season. Robinson is perfectly fucking healthy, smiling on the sidelines, and we are giving it to this fucking guy. I want a federal investigation. I want fucking everyone in Washington investigated. I want DraftKings investigated. I want Robinson investigated. That sounds to me like a compulsive gambler. They never blame themselves. They always blame something else. They always do. This is my boy Portnoy going off on just a super full retard level, and I hope he recovers from it. I really do.
Never go full retard. Never go full retard. Never go full retard.
And he went full retard laying down that kind of parlay. That's just really stupid. It really is. Yeah. Look, my dad taught me a long time ago, son, don't ever bet on boxing or football. He said boxing's rigged. It always has been. And he said football, doesn't matter how good the teams are. You never know which way that oblong ball is going to bounce. You just don't know. So I've never done that. I mean, I've done little dollar bets here and there, but I wouldn't put thousands down on anything. And I work with compulsive gamblers, guys. If you don't know that about me, that's what I do. I'm a resident manager at a residential rehab for compulsive gamblers. And I work with these guys, and that sounds exactly like one of them in action right there. Flipping out because he didn't get what he wanted. Dave Portnoy. I love you, man. You got rich, but you know what? You know better than anybody. The house gets their money. What the hell, man? Let's see. Jason, that's why I kept it. He says, your beard is on point, brother. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I got too many compliments on it. I decided to keep it. My wife hates it. She can't stand it. So it's going to go away soon. But, I figured I'd be Santa for Christmas holidays. You know what I mean? You are addicted to gambling when you are glued to a slot machine and you just pee right there. And then there is video of that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, have you ever heard of Vegas bladder? Have you heard of people passing out from not going to the bathroom? That happens all the time in casinos too. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys for being here. Let's let you know what's going on with and look, Danny's going to be back with us as soon as he can. It's just, for some reason, his connection was not working good tonight. I know a lot of you were streamers. Every time he tried to sign in, it was a black screen. We had the continuous circle saying, I'll get there one day. I'll load up one of these days. I'll get there one day. Right? That's what he had. So don't get mad at Dan. He'll be back as soon as he can. Hylunder will be back. Don't worry, guys. He will be back. But you know what? Whenever something like this happens and it's that late in the day, you know what I do, guys. I usually let you know on X or on my community tab, but it was 4:30. I already had all these articles put together, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get on and say hi to everybody. So thanks for being here with me. I appreciate it. I want to thank all of you for getting me to 500 subs. Thank you so much. We're going to celebrate that on New Year's Day. We're going to celebrate that on New Year's Day. And I'll explain that here in a minute. So right now, you're watching the Brothers Hack the Matrix. Hylunder will be back next week if he can fix his tech problem. I think it was just bandwidth tonight. They had a lot of people at the house tonight, so I think he was having bandwidth problems. Anyway, the Brothers Hack the Matrix every Monday night at 5 p.m. Central Time. You guys come check us out. Tomorrow night, I will be on for New Year's Eve. I am not throwing a party this year. Last year that I put up a steady cam and I actually showed you the party that was going on at my house. But this year, me and Rhonda have had a long year and a lot going on, and we decided to just take a break. I am going to stream tomorrow night. It's going to be Papa Joe Gamer at its regular time at 10 p.m. Central Time, and I'm going to play my favorite game so I can have some alcohol and bring in the new year. Playing DC Universe Online. So come hang out with me. If you're going to be up that late, come on. Let's celebrate the new year together. It's going to start at 10 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night. And then there will be no State of the Atmosphere this Wednesday. The guys, we decided we were going to take a hiatus for 2 weeks. We didn't have it last week either. But I'm doing another Chilling at the Club, and that's going to be the 500 member stream celebration. So you guys come by and say hi. I want to thank each and every one of you that subscribe to me, and thank you very much. It's taken me a couple of years, but I don't do videos, so it takes you a long time to build up those followers when you do live streams, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Chilling at the Club is going to come your way at 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve, on New Year's Day. On New Year's Day, we're gonna do it at 7. We're gonna go as long as you guys in the chat want to talk about stuff, man. It's just a chat-driven stream. We're going to chill out, hang out, and check out whatever we want to check out. And that's Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So come check that out. That's also the 500 subscriber celebration. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks a lot. And then don't forget Friday. Well, wait a minute. I forgot about one thing. I forgot to move one of my thumbnails up. Friday, first thing at 1 p.m. Central Time, it's Sketching the Privateer. You want to come check out that show where I work on my passion project. And my New Year's resolution is to find more time to work on this sucker and get the first issue out this year. So look forward to that every Friday to look at the progress. 1 p.m. Central Time. I go for about an hour before I go to work. So you guys come check that out. 1 p.m. Central Time every Friday. And then Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time, you want to go over to Pop Culture Minefields channel and check out our good friend Das Wolfen as he plays Fallout. I got to join him this week. I was lucky enough to not have any clients this time around, so I got to actually get in there and have fun watching him and knocking the rest of the guys, Martin. So you guys come check us out on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. If I don't have any clients this Friday, I'll be there too. But usually I'm in the chat saying hi every once in a while. But that's on Pop Culture Minefields channel, Game Night with John, and he's playing Fallout. And then, of course, Sunday morning, it'll be a pregame party, and it'll be the regular season finale show. Like I said earlier in the show, man, we got a great one to finish up with on Sunday night. It's going to be the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. And we're going to talk all about that and all the other games that happened and what we think of the playoffs so far. So come check us out, 10 a.m. Central Time before your afternoon slate of games on Sunday. And then if you missed it earlier today, we got together and talked Invasion USA. And yes, it's a Christmas movie. It takes place at Christmas. Come check that. Come check out Military Monday. It's every Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. I don't know what we're doing this Monday, but Anima, Gary, myself, Martin, we all get together and talk about military movies on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Minefields channel. And if you missed this one, go watch it. We had a good time. We went for 3 hours this morning. It was pretty fun. And then, of course, Mondays at 4 p.m. Central Time, It's Only Talk and Roll comes your way. He's going back to his regular time on Mondays. On the 6th, I believe, is going to be his next show. And it's a week from today, and it's going to be America 3000. We're going to get together. The Canon Film Club is going to get together and do America 3000. So you guys come check that out Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time, an hour before my brother and I start The Brothers Hack the Matrix. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Let's check the chat one more time before we get out of here. Yeah, I should have turned on Sharking for Pearls, but I feel like I'm talking so much. We really didn't need it tonight. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yes, damn. It's Only Talking Rolls back to Monday. Yes, it is. Fun hanging out, dudes. Mike, it was good to see you. If you don't follow the Comic Relief Crusader, go do it. Our Canadian brother is a lot of fun. Go Lions. You know it. That was my prediction at the beginning of the year that they would be the Super Bowl champ. Dude, it's going to be a hell of a game between Minnesota and them. It's going to be good. So check out all the links that Vince has left there for you. He says, pimping it out anyway. Hell yeah, we got to pimp out Sharking for Pearls for Dan. You know it. We got to check that out. That's my brother's music. We got to do it. Throw your slogan up in there so I can read it before we get out of here, buddy. But I want to thank Vince for being the hardest working wrench in the business. I want to thank Jason for showing up from Norway. My friend from Canada, Mike, the Comic Relief Crusader. Our friend from Mexico, Flat E. It's good to meet you, brother. I hope you subscribe to the channel and hang out. I appreciate you. And let's see. Does he have it here? Where is it? I know he's going to put it up here. Look at this. Let's see. Yeah, he's putting up Comic Relief Crusader stuff too. Check out those links. He's an artist like me. Yeah. I don't do graphic design though. He does. Yeah, he is a great mod. He's the hardest working guy in the business, man. But anyway, look, guys, we will check you out next time. Vince says, cheerio, guys and gals. See you next time. and stay nerdy, everybody, and have yourself a great weekend. And you know what I'm going to say. Let's see what else. He says, dropping sub for, yeah, got that. Comic Relief Crusader is great. You're welcome. You know, man, I dig you. You and I have talked behind the scenes, and we're on the same page on everything, really. Vince says, and have yourself a happy new year. No doubt. I'm going to wish you one myself tomorrow night on my gaming stream. And until we see you again, guys, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless.